It's because of the lake monster that the locks are closed.
Believe me, it's a really good thing that the nomads can't just come and go around Valsambor as they please anymore.
My squid is absolutely fresh, miss. Listen, miss, it's fresh.
You almost fell right in the water. Have you ever thought about moderating your consumption of vodka, sir?
R-E-N-O.
Pardon?
It's me, Captain Obo. Obo! Proud commander of the just as proud crystal. So don't you, sir, me.
Well, delighted. Captain, I'm Kate Walker. I'm looking for Steiner's, the clockmaker.
If I fall in the water, Taylor, it'll be to go straight to hell. So don't fall in the water, sailor, you understand? Bastard's waiting for me.
Who are you talking about?
The monster of the lake is waiting for us all, miss. Everyone's time comes eventually. To finish the work. Come on, back in the fight. Because you can never lower your guard. Never.
Everyone's been surly the last few months.
Looking for cigars or some hooch? I'm even cheaper than the nomads.
Lost your way, pretty girl?
Hello. Are you Mr. Steiner? I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Steiner. My name is Kate Walker, and I've come to pick up the prosthesis for Kirk, the Yukel spiritual guide.
And well, dear Miss Walker, Dr. Efimova has informed me that the young man was not yet in any sort of condition to withstand the operation, and that...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
It is impossible. That pendant you have around your neck. I would be very obliged if you would entrust me with it for a moment. Please, Miss Walker. Mein Gott! An XZ-2000 automaton heart in perfect working condition. A compensating spring memory. Pendulum ventricles and small mechanical pumps. Everything seems in excellent condition. Donnerwetter! Where on earth did you steal this, Miss Walker?
I did not steal it. It's a souvenir. It's all I have left of Oscar, a very dear friend.
Ah, so. And yet I am actually very familiar with this type of precision mechanism. An infernal precision. Incredible, unique expertise. For this was a Vorarlberg automaton, Miss Walker.
Yes. It was Hans Vorarlberg who designed this object. Tell me, did you know him?
Oh, yeah. He even lived here a few years. We did a lot of work together. He taught me so many different things, you know. So it is useless to try and make up silly stories, Miss Walker. And I am afraid that I am not about to allow you to leave here as long as you have not told me the truth about where this object comes from.
Mr. Steiner, Oscar was a very special automaton. He inspired almost human emotions. But today he doesn't exist. He isn't dead, of course. Because what has never lived cannot die. Oscar was just dismantled. It had to be like that. All that I have left of him is that heart, a heart made of metal.
It's far more than just a heart, miss. It's far more like a kind of mechanical hard drive. A computer that is full of cogs, gears, and springs, but...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
My heart... need... my medication. Quickly!
Just don't move. I'll go and get your medication right away. No medication in sight.
Make yourself right at home. Don't mind me. I just own the place.
Who would store medication in this mess? Kirk's prosthesis, but it looks like it isn't finished. Who would store medication in this mess? Still nothing. Who would store medication in this mess? Who would store medication in this mess? Fantastic. Fantastic. Who would store medication in this mess? Nothing that could help him. No medication. There's no point. Nothing that could help him. That could do him more harm than good. Nothing that could help him. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. A prototype for the clinic aviary? Empty. No medication in sight. Who would store medication in this mess? Kirk's prosthesis, but it looks like it isn't finished. No medication. That could do him more harm than good. No way. Nothing that could help him. Nothing that could help him.
My heart. I need my medication. Quickly. So, you would abandon me to my fate?
No medication in sight. A prototype for the clinic aviary? All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. That's not right. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. Empty. Who would store medication in this mess? Fantastic! 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 Who would store medication in this mess? Fantastic! Who would store medication in this mess? Still nothing. A prototype for the clinic aviary? That could do him more harm than good. No medication. No way. Nothing that could help him. That could do him more harm than good. There's no point. Nothing that could help him. All that clattering must get really tiring after a while.
Thank you for your precious help, my dearest Miss Walker. I'm afraid I may have judged you somewhat hastily.
Don't mention it, Mr. Steiner. Tell me about the prosthesis. I need to take it back to Kirk very quickly, if, of course, you agree to let me have it.
Yeah. I just have a few small adjustments to make. It involves very precise and meticulous mechanics, understand?
Will it take long? I'm sorry to insist, but I also have to give a hand to those unfortunate Yukels. I need to help them get across the lake with their herd of ostriches. I'm so worried about them.
Once the mechanical leg is at last ready, I can go to the clinic and bring back young Kirk to you. That way you only have to worry about what happens to the other Yukels.
You'd do that, Mr. Steiner? That would really be a great help.
So, perfect. But dear Miss Walker, are you aware of what lies in store for the nomads when they reach the other side of the lake?
What on earth's the matter, Mr. Steiner?
The next stage of your journey is the poor cursed town of Baranor. It has become hell on earth since the time of the last great ostrich migration.
Please join me downstairs for a moment, Miss Walker. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Look just next to the films there, Miss Walker. You should find a film on Baranor.
Baranor, the cursed city. Baranor, the martyred town. Baranor has been nothing but a field of ruins and desolation since a week after the explosion of reactor number 3 in the nuclear power plant. Baltimore is on the other side of the lake, sheltered from the prevailing wind, and fortunately it seems to have been spared from the deadly radioactive clouds. Our town was mobilized to go to the aid of our neighbors. Although our town's means were modest when compared to such catastrophe, there were nonetheless among us some brilliant mechanical engineers. In record time, they developed a small army of automatons capable of helping the affected people. Those men and dogs of steel could go where a human could no longer set foot without becoming seriously ill. Over there, they could be excavators, rescue workers, and treasure bearers.
Oscar! They all look like him.
Truly magnificent pieces, Nishtvar. The XZ2000 model is most assuredly one of Hans's major masterpieces.
Their mission was to bring back any survivors of the catastrophe to Baltimore. where the victims would receive the best care in Dr. Zemiatine's clinic. The Crystal. The fairy usually responsible for linking the towns of Baltimore and Baranor every day carried the new type of rescuers to the scene of the drama and brought back the survivors of the catastrophe.
So Baranor suffered the ravages of a nuclear accident. But according to that film, the automatons you designed with Hans should have helped save lots of lives, right?
I'm afraid that's not how things went. Because of Captain Obo. Ah, that must be Sarah. Please come this way, Miss Walker. I'll introduce you. Miss Walker, may I introduce you to Sarah, my granddaughter?
Nice to meet you, Sarah. My name's Kate Walker.
I actually owe Miss Walker a candle. Thanks to her calmness and peace of mind, I'm still here and on my feet. She found my medication and gave it to me before it was too late. Donnerwetter.
You don't mean you had another attack, do you? Ah, you're being so very naughty, Grandfather. You absolutely must let Dr. Zemiatine examine you.
Come on, stay calm, my little child. When I go to the clinic to take the prosthesis to the young Yukol, I'll stop by and see the good doctor. Until then, why don't you make yourself really useful to Miss Walker? She's looking for some way to transport the Yukol caravan to the other side of the lake.
Well, I think I've already found the solution. The boat in the film, the Crystal, it must be the ship that's docked in the port. If it was able to transport the automatons you and Hans built, it could carry the ostriches across the lake.
Ah, that's not a bad idea. But unfortunately, there's a slight problem of size, dear Miss Walker.
What on earth do you mean?
Obo became a poor wreck when he simply abandoned our automatons in Baranor. The coward now drowns his sorrows in vodka. He's convinced that he fled because of the monster in the lake. Heh! Apparently the imbecile saw the monster, Himmelgott. So he went back on his tracks, abandoning all the automatons in Baranor as well as the people they were there to rescue.
Grandfather, I know you're still really angry with Captain Obo because he abandoned the automatons that you built with your friend Hans in Baranor. He was supposed to wait for them. They were going to take all the survivors they found in the rubble to the boat and then bring everyone here to safety in Valsambor. But in the end, when he got to the beach at Baranor and saw the disaster and all the dead, he became really afraid. The disease, the radiation. He must have had an uncontrollable panic attack, so he immediately turned back, dumped the machines on the Crystal into the lake, and came back empty-handed to Valsambor. And the automatons have been there ever since, in hell. But who knows? Maybe today he'll want to sell. I'm sure Kate will be capable of convincing him to help the Yukols. I have to go do my waitressing shift in the tavern. Come by and see me later on, okay? Captain Obo will be there.
All right, then. I'll try and convince Captain Obo. Thank you for everything, Mr. Steiner.
I don't know if I really should wish you good luck, dear Miss Walker. Baranor is only an open grave now.
impossible. I don't believe it. He forgot to leave it open again. I don't like that new waitress working in the tavern at all.
When they shut the funicular down this morning, it created chaos.
Welcome to our humble Valsambor funicular station, miss.
No, you go! Strike!
If you were only here to see this, Oscar.
The voters want to talk to you.
The Nomads are stealing our merchandise and our customers. The Yukos don't belong in Valsambor.
You should have seen it back when the port was still open and booming.
Thieving Yukos
Never
in
even heard of a
Valsambor.
strike.
Shopkeepers- Close the Nomad souk! Throw them all out or we'll stay on strike!
There have been 10 thefts from my shop since those savages showed up! Mr. Mayor, who's gonna pay?
Come.
The next elections. Mayor Buyakin! Mayor Buyakin!
Thieving Yukos in Valsambor! Shopkeepers want them out the door! Thieving Yukos!
Excuse me. What's happening here?
Isn't it obvious? We're demonstrating against having the Yukon Nomads parked on our doorsteps.
But what for?
Since they came to Valsambor, there's been no end to the shoplifting and vandalism, and on top of that, their souk is taking our customers. Mayor Bulyakin has to do something, and fast. We're not leaving until he receives our delegation.
But why won't the mayor talk to you?
Because he's a schmuck. He wants the Nomads to continue their migration as much as us, but he's too afraid of annoying his higher-ups. And while he's gaining time by playing both sides of the board, we're watching our sales go through the floor.
The authorities are asking the mayor to prevent the migration from continuing? They want the Yukos to stay blocked in Valsambor?
That's what people are saying, but if you want my opinion, the only thing the mayor is waiting for is someone to get rid of those savages without him having to get his hands dirty.
The shopkeepers are on strike for the first time in ages. That's not good business for anyone, if you want my opinion.
The way they treat the Nomads around here is terrible.
I'd rather be left here on my own if you don't mind, miss.
I hope you find the tavern agreeable, miss.
Captain Obo?
What do you want?
May I sit down for a second?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry to impose, but I actually really...
You know, you kind of remind me of someone. The wife of the quartermaster that served on board the Crystal after the war. Do you realize he got married to the first cousin of the wife of a machinist?
Oh, okay. That's all really interesting, but what I wanted to ask...
That's a really great story, really. Because, did you know? So there. So the guy answers, I don't know nothing, Captain. Turns out he was hiding in the broom closet. Hilarious. Irina, the wife of the quartermaster, her name was Irina Malevna. Crazy how much you look like her.
Oh, gee, it's getting late. I have to go. You can finish telling me the story another time, Captain Obo.
The lake is haunted by a demon. It's watching me. Waiting. I can feel it.
That shape there in the water. What is it?
The crystal took across more travelers ever than any other ferry from Balsambor. The monster is lurking at the bottom of the lake. That's where it sees what's happening on the surface with those red eyes. I know I should try not to drink so much. Everybody tells me, Obo, alcohol isn't going to help you sort yourself out at all. The lake is haunted by a demon. It's watching me. Waiting. I can feel it.
I'd rather be left here on my own if you don't mind, miss.
Is everything okay, Kate?
Not really. I'd like to ask Captain Obo if the Yukon caravan can go on board his boat to cross over to Baranor. But I can't get a straight answer. He's completely sloshed.
I'm sorry, miss, but I really think you're wasting your time. He's getting drunk again to forget his crimes, like he always does. To forget he wasn't brave the way a captain should be. Can you believe it? In Baranor, he just picked up and abandoned his passengers. And I know, he'll never want to see that cursed place again.
I'm not sure that's true, lad. Even if he does drink a lot, the captain's a pretty good guy. Say the right thing, and you may be able to convince him.
If I'm ever lucky enough to find him sober, even for a moment, I need that drunkard to listen to me.
Maybe I can help you with that. I'll make him one of my famous small restoratives. After that, he'll want to sleep for 3 days, but at least his mind will be clear.
I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much, both of you.
Don't mention it. The way the Yukols are treated here is an absolute disgrace, so if we can help out...
Who knows what became of the victims and automatons the captain abandoned?
No, everybody hates the captain for that. But nobody volunteered to take the helm of the crystal in his place to pick up the survivors. If there are any left in Baranor, they're all dead now, that's for sure.
Grandfather says that the automatons would have broken down really quickly with nobody to maintain them.
Do you know why Captain Obo fled Baranor?
He must have been completely traumatized by what he saw there. The catastrophe, the victims, and then the radiation. He unloaded the automatons on the beach, but he didn't expect they'd bring the survivors back right then. He just cracked, completely snapped. Full astern and goodbye all. Can you even imagine?
Afterwards, he came up with that story of a sea monster appearing and attacking his boat.
Yes, the old legend of the monster of the lake. Convenient, isn't it?
Has Captain Obo taken the crystal out of port since leaving Baranor?
He's been far too drunk ever since then for that.
And anyway, the port's been closed since the tragedy of Baranor 20 years ago.
Do you think the crystal is still in sailing condition after all this time?
I'm sure there'll be a few repairs to do, but Obo never stopped keeping it in shape, you know. He loves his boat, despite everything. Go see the captain. Sarah will bring you the restorative when it's ready.
I hope you find the tavern agreeable, miss.
Take this, Captain. This one's on the house.
My God! This pisswater unbattens the hatches, swabs the deck, and opens the portholes. Hello, Miss.
My name is Kate Walker, Captain Obo. We met each other earlier.
To what do I owe the honor of your presence at the table of the regrettably famous Captain Obo?
This is good news, Captain. You're back at the starting block again. You have a new beginning, a new dawn.
Now that's a good show of spirit, Miss Walker. What'll you be having now? It's my round.
I'd rather you listen to me. You're my only hope of finding a solution to my problem.
Do tell me about it, please, miss.
Because the Yukels and their ostriches are stuck here in Valsumbor, it's causing a serious problem among the people in your community. Plus, the nomads have to continue their great journey. Only you, Captain Obo, can defuse the situation by taking them on board the crystal.
You're very wrong, Miss Walker. Everybody will tell you that I'm incapable of giving a hand to anyone.
It's true, people are quick to judge. But they're not the ones who went to Baranor like you did. They can't teach you anything about being brave.
Maybe. So tell me, where do you actually want to go then, miss?
You won't like this.
Stop going easy on me, would you? Where do you actually want to go, Miss Walker?
We're going to Baranor. That's where the migration is taking the Yukels.
Are you kidding? Baranor? In 20 years, nobody has landed. Nobody's even set foot there. I saw the hellish red eyes of the monster of the lake. Beast as big and long as my boat. Ask your Yukel friends what they think about it. They call it the Kilak, the evil spirit of the lake. The devil guarding the doorway to hell.
In that case, I'll buy the crystal.
What makes you think she's up for sale?
You've left her in the port to rot. She's completely run down. You haven't the money to keep her shipshape. I have money, and I need that ferry.
She's a ferry, not a liner. The girl wants to take the helm of the crystal. Now I've heard everything.
I know that if the Proud Crystal had an equally proud commander at her helm, things would go better. But as you don't want to go on a voyage...
All right. You can get your gang of little savages and board the crystal. I'll take you.
Oh, thank you, Captain, really, with all my heart. And thank you on behalf of the Yukels.
Oh, but be careful now, Captain Girl. You're not there yet. There are 2 conditions, and they aren't negotiable. First, we stop by Narodost. It's a little town just a bit south of Baranor. That will mean we avoid the most radioactive zones, but it won't actually take you too far off your path. And second, we also sail by day. I'm not going to finish up on the lake monster's plate. And it sleeps during the day. The beast is usually a bit of a night owl anyway.
I accept, Captain Obo.
In that case, all hands on deck now, sailor, because we've got work to do before we can hoist the anchor.
Come on, Kate. You hurry off and meet with the captain before he changes his mind. I'll go tell Grandfather to join you on board the Crystal with Kirk.
Thank you, Sarah.
I was sure the captain would end up by saying yes.
All right, Captain. How are the preparations going?
There's quite a bit of work to do before we can hoist the anchor, Miss Kate.
Maybe I can help you out with something.
Well, the coal needs to be stocked up. As for myself, I'll look after getting the water tanks ready to be filled. Take this. It's the code you need for entering the hangar where the coal is kept. You actually need it to use the crane to load the coal onto the crystal. Don't forget to open the storage hatchway first.
What do I need to do in the hangar?
That's where you'll find all the coal you need for the crystal. One container should just about be enough. And don't forget to use the entry code for the crane that I just gave you.
What do I need the crane for?
This here is for loading all the coal you get from the hangar onto the ship. Use the code I gave you so that you can access the control post.
How do I open the hatchway to the coal storage on the crystal?
Just turn the wheel on the ship's bridge, sailor.
I'll take care of that, Captain.
We need to set sail as soon as possible, so better hurry up.
This must be the coal tank that the captain asked me to fill from outside. This would be perfect for the Yukos. This must be the coal tank that the captain asked me to fill from outside. Nobody.